So we obviously did the first one back in January for the U.S. men's game, and that was a really bold Tifo. We went huge. We did a lot of fabric, and it was honestly fun. I mean, it was a lot of work. It was a lot more work than I think any of us thought it was going to be. We were also really ambitious with the size. One of, I think, our philosophies at San Diego is we go just as hard for the women's team as we go for the men's team. So then when we heard we had a U.S. women's game coming up, we just decided to do another one. And in discussing the design, you know, Tony DiCicco just passed away last month, so we really wanted to pay homage to his legacy. And then we met at Benchmark, and we set up the projector, we put it to scale.
No, the last time.
Did the tracing, you know, panel by panel, and it was actually, it took us like 2 hours to do the tracing in comparison to last time where it took us over 2 days. But then from there, we showed up the next day, laid it all out in the back patio of Benchmark, and painted it. When we first had the idea, it was totally widely loved by the people that we talked to. I've gotten to know Shannon McMillan a little bit through the Soccer City stuff, so I kind of reached out to her and said, well, what's a quote that you kind of, you know, remember him by? And she immediately came back with, I love my job.
I painted light sand, which is a very small and specific part of Tony DiCicco's face and arm. So yeah, light sand was my contribution to the Tifo. I'm just always impressed every time that we've done these that, you know, that they get planned, that the organization comes, that there's the volunteers there, how they turn out, how the design happens, you know, what Steve Brockoff does to get these things done. It's always a really cool thing to just be involved with it. So.
Right.
It's a good time to get together with friends and do something to support the women's team. This one wasn't necessarily in support, but more to honor somebody who's passed, but still at the same time, it's something we like to do. And so we did the march, and I finally walk in, and Dave Chamberlain comes up. He goes, "Somebody's here to talk to you." And I was like, "Uh-oh, am I in trouble? What's going on?" And I don't know, you know. And then I walk down, and there he is, and shake his hand, and we talk about it a little bit, and said, "Yeah, here it is, right here. You know, if you want to be under it, please grab a seat in the section. This is generally where it's going to be." I was blown away that Tony or Anthony was there, and then I told him, I said, you know, after the game, we would really like for you to take this home. Shannon was actually at the game too. She helped, like she was there when we unfurled the Tifo, and Shannon just said how cool it was, and you know, how much she really appreciated everything and thought it was such a great idea, and that it was just really well done. And then after the game, things were just crazy. I was talking to people, and a couple of my AO San Diego friends helped go and take it down. Took it down, and they came back, and I said, "Oh, you know, where is it?" And he said, "Anthony took it home." And I was like, "Oh, great." I was so happy. This is exactly what I wanted. No matter what he's going to do with it, maybe he'll never unfurl it or never lay it out ever, but it's at least his, and I couldn't be happier.